Okay, we're going to try again. I did a test a while ago, and I am right way up, so that's good, but there was no sound. So if somebody could check in and let me see if we have sound. There was no sound before, but when I put the control, when I hooked it up to the stand, I had mashed a button, so maybe I'm okay now. Nisi, yay, I have volume, yay! Okay, good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, I do not have any help here today. So if you're asking a question, unless it comes up on the feed, and it doesn't always come up on the feed, I don't know. So want to start today just by introducing myself for those of you who are new. I am Dr. Polly Heil-Mealey with Abundant Health and Wellness, and we are a holistic healthcare clinic in downtown Humble. So if you want to come and see us, we are at 323 East Main Street, and we're really good on customer service. In fact, we're closed today, and we have been closed since December the 23rd. Of course, Christmas was on a Monday. We were closed all this week, and we're closed on Monday again because that's New Year's Day, but we will be open for business on Tuesday. Now, I had an urgent SOS email last night. I always check emails just to make sure everything's okay with the clinic, and we are in the healthcare business, and sometimes there's an emergency, and we want to make sure that we take care of our people. And we did have an SOS email last night saying, I need an appointment tomorrow. I know you're closed, but my daughter is sick. She's got the flu, blah, blah, blah. So I reached out to the mom today, and I told her that, yes, we were closed, but that I would see her at 10:30. So just so you know, if you are a patient of ours, we want to take care of you. And so that's why we have email access. That's why we have phone center service. So if you have a problem, you can write in, you can call us, and we check our messages, and we definitely check our emails. And so just out there, I mean, a lot of people are closed, and a lot of doctors are closed. And so if there's an emergency, we don't want you to have to run to the ER and that kind of thing. So anyway, here we are. That was just a little end of the year tidbit. It made my day that I was able to help this mom. So what I want to talk to you about is hormone replacement therapy. Now, this is kind of maybe going to be a graphic conversation. Don't really want it to be, but there are hormones that everybody knows about, which are your estrogen and your testosterone. But there are many, many other hormones that your body makes, and they are cleaved from the molecule that we call cholesterol. So cholesterol, if my memory serves me correctly, is a 28 atom molecule. And from that molecule, all of your other hormones are cleaved by the liver. Now, the body is really, really smart, and there's a hormone cascade. And so I posted this on our page. It is from Dr. Karen Liggett, and it says it's the sex hormone cascade. And it's a little bit easier for you to see rather than the big one that I have. But you can look at this right here on the page. It says that from cholesterol, you make pregnenolone. Then from pregnenolone, you make progesterone. Or you can come over here and make DHEA. So I'm kind of all over the place here. So cholesterol, pregnenolone, progesterone, or DHEA. If you have enough from progesterone, you'll come on down and you'll make cortisol. Cortisol is the anti-stress hormone, and we've talked about this when we talked about our adrenal fatigue. But there's something called the pregnenolone steal, and that's where the pregnenolone does not come over here and make the DHEA, because it all has to go to cortisol, because we're in that fight or flight response. And when we're in that fight or flight response, then we get into adrenal fatigue. Otherwise, it's supposed to come over here and make the DHEA, which then makes your estrione, testosterone, estradiol, and estriol. So this is the end of the line for your hormones. So pregnenolone, which is up here, right, is a adaptogenic hormone. And let me just tell you some of the things that it's good for. I've got a lot of paper up here, and so you're going to just have to kind of bear with me here. It lowers excess cholesterol. It is anti-arthritic. It is antidepressive. It's a mood elevator. It's anti-stress, anti-aging, neuroprotective. That means in your brain, it protects your brain. Improves mental alertness and cognition. And it also is the anti-fatigue hormone, and it improves psychomotor performance. So psychomotor performance is when your brain tells your body what it needs to do. So these are hormones, and outworking of this hormone, pregnenolone, that we sometimes don't have enough of. So I've got a lot of information here. It is the adaptogenic. That means it is at the top of the steroid hormone change, and it can do whatever it needs to do so that all of your other hormones work in concert with that. So a lot of times women will say, well, I had a hysterectomy, so I don't make hormones. Well, that's not true. You do make hormones. So just so you know, pregnenolone is made in your adrenal gland, your ovary, and your liver. Your progesterone is only made in the ovary, but your DHEA is made in the adrenals and in the brain. Your estrogen is made in your fat cells as well as in your ovaries. So women that carry a little bit of plumptiousness, right, that those fat cells can help you with your estrogen as well. Your cortisol is made only by your adrenals. So we've got other things. So your liver, we talk about liver a lot. Your liver is responsible for taking that cholesterol and cleaving it into those other hormones. So you've got to be able to have your liver working properly, and that's why at the beginning of every new year, I do the protocol called RCCP. We've talked about this before, and this stands for Restoring Cellular Communication Pathways. Why do I need that? Well, because I'm over 50. I'm way past menopause. I still have all my parts, but I'm pretty sure that my ovaries and my uterus are no longer functioning. And I don't want to have a lot of extra fat plumptiousness to make the estrogen that I need. So what I want to do is make sure that my liver is working properly so that I can manufacture all the hormones that I need. So adaptogenic. Adaptogenic means that it will adapt and furnish all your other hormones. So let me just read this to you. So the adaptogenic hormone pregnenolone is the critical building block of the production of other hormones. Your DHEA, your estrogen, your progesterone, your testosterone, and even cortisol. It prevents memory loss, relieves anxiety and depression. It alleviates PMS and menopause symptoms. It lessens fatigue, increases endurance, eases joint pain, lowers cholesterol, and combats addictive behavior. So I know some of you have put on your New Year's resolution that you want to give up Facebook and you want to give up social media and that kind of thing, because it is addictive. And so if you are finding that hard to do, then what I want you to do is look at maybe upping your pregnenolone. Now, don't forget to watch me on Facebook Live, because this is important. I'm giving you all kinds of education, and you can't be addicted here because it's only once a week at noon on Friday, okay? So it's really, really hard to raise your hormone levels without synthetic hormones, right? But we don't want to use synthetic. Why? Because synthetic hormones are injurious to your cardiovascular health. Bioidentical hormones are hormones that are synthesized the way your body synthesizes hormones, are very, very cardioprotective. So you may or may not know this, but women over menopause age, whatever age that is, maybe you went into chemical menopause because they took out all your parts and you're in your 30s, right? So if you are no longer having your periods, that estrogen is very cardioprotective. When you are using synthetic estrogen, it hurts your heart. So we don't want to really recommend hormone replacement therapy. What we want to do is work with bioidenticals, true bioidenticals that are made from plants, okay, so that it is a hormone that will go into the body. Your body knows what to do with it, and it's very cardioprotective. So we want to make sure that we do that. We brought into the clinic last year, well, this year, we're still in 2017. In 2017, we brought in some salivary testing. That's where we can take some saliva, or actually we can do a blood spot too. And we can check your hormones. We can check your cholesterol. We can check your cortisol. We can check your DHEA and your pregnenolone. We can do all that kind of stuff now here in the clinic. You don't have to go to your GP and that kind of thing. We've got to, get your sample and send it off and that kind of thing. But this is really, really important. When I was at my seminar last year in 2016, and I was talking to a medical doctor, an OBGYN, and he was saying that he wanted every woman who was postmenopausal to be on bioidentical estrogen and bioidentical progesterone. So a lot of times women think that they don't need hormone replacement if they're not having any symptoms. So symptoms could be faulty memory, you can't remember things, or it could be vaginal dryness. Now, vaginal dryness is a symptom that many postmenopausal women get, and progesterone is really, really good to help with that. But also, besides that, it's also very good for your cardiovascular health. So we don't necessarily want to start at the bottom of the hormone chain, which is where your estrogen and your testosterone are. We want to start higher up in the chain so that we're able to have what we need. So if we need pregnenolone to make all these other hormones, why not supplement with that? So we've got two that I wanted to show you here. We've got this one in a pill. This is 25 milligrams. I take this at night because the doctor told me to. At this clinical symposium, when he was talking about female hormone health, he was saying that every postmenopausal woman would need 25 milligrams of pregnenolone at bedtime to help replenish all of the hormones. So I started doing this a year ago. This is a bottle of 90, and it takes me through 3 months because I only use one at night. It's $21. I mean, it's a cheap thing. This is another pregnenolone. It is a dropper, and it's a good one too. One dropper contains 25 milligrams. So, but it also has 1 milligram of DHEA in it as well. This one just has your pregnenolone in there. This one has your pregnenolone and your DHEA. So we've got these here at the clinic. We also have DHEA in a pill. I know some of us don't like to have liquids because they taste funky and all that. But this is only 10 milligrams, whereas this one is 25 milligrams. And so, well, this is the pregnenolone, but we've got the DHEA as well. It's 25 milligrams. It is said that you need to have between 100 and 200 milligrams a day in order to have enough DHEA to do what it needs to do. So the dropper, if you do the dropper, that's 25 milligrams, so you would have 4 for 100 or 8 for 200, depending on what your needs are. If you have a lot of adrenal fatigue, then you're going to need more of the DHEA. This one is only 10 milligrams, so you're going to have to take 10 or 20, and that's kind of a lot. It's not expensive. It's $17 for 180 tablets. So you kind of do the math on that and see where you are. We also have DHEA in a pump. Now, the pump dispenses a half a gram, so 50 milligrams, right? Which is, 50, let's see, half a gram of cream, which produces 5 milligrams of pure DHEA. There's about 80 pumps in here, and this one is bioidentical, non-toxic, gluten-free formulated. I know this doctor. She's a friend of mine. She's very, very good. And so we've got all kinds of things for you to choose from here at the clinic because we want you to be healthy. So let's talk about this DHEA. DHEA is a hormone secreted by the adrenals, and it is considered the mother of all of your other hormones. Now remember here on our sheet, we've got cholesterol, pregnenolone, and pregnenolone goes all the way over to DHEA unless we've got the cortisol steal down here, right? So you need pregnenolone and DHEA. Now DHEA splits off into your estrogen and then your testosterone. It's a little bit confusing, and I don't want it to be confusing for you. All right. So let's see. I have discovered that the adaptogenic, I'm reading this. This is from, I think, Dr. Linda. This is her paper. She said that I have discovered that the adaptogenic hormone pregnenolone can raise all hormones because it helps your body to produce whatever it is lacking, either DHEA, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, or even cortisol. So this is very, very important. It is so essential to our health that it is produced not only by the adrenal glands, it's also produced by the brain and the spinal cord. So you may have had your ovaries removed, but you haven't had your brain and your spinal cord removed. So God has given us several different pathways that we can get this hormone. So we need to do that. And there's just so many benefits. It boosts memory. It's useful in creating memory as well as preventing its loss. It helps the brain function, right? It boosts the acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter needed for the thought process. It is low. This is a neurotransmitter that is low if someone has Alzheimer's. Now, because I'm on the other side of 60 now, Alzheimer's is something I'm concerned about. Not that I have it. I'm not believing that I'm going to have it. But as you get older, what happens? You start to decline. You start to have all these issues. So if you keep your pregnenolone high, then it is going to keep this neurotransmitter high, and you're going to have a hedge against Alzheimer's. I also found this report. It is from the Psychiatry and Clinical Neurosciences Journal, right? And so it is a peer-reviewed journal. So this was in 2014. So it's not like cutting edge right now, but it says pregnenolone has shown promise in reducing the severity of negative symptoms in schizophrenia. There was an 8-week double-blind randomized trial that said that 50 milligrams of pregnenolone daily could reverse the symptoms of schizophrenia. Who doesn't want to know that? I have patients that have schizophrenia, and so this is really important for me. I didn't know that pregnenolone would do that. I just know that pregnenolone is really one of the mother hormones. It's one of the, we call it hormone precursors. You have to have that before you can have your other hormone. And so for our people that have schizophrenia, and maybe you have people that have split personalities in your life, right? They may not be diagnosed with schizophrenia, but they're just, here, there, and everywhere in their brain. They may benefit from having 50 milligrams of pregnenolone. So that would be 2 out of this bottle. And like I say, it's $21. You can't beat the price on that. And if it takes care of mental issues, then who wouldn't want that? So it relieves anxiety. It relieves depression, okay? This is according to 2 studies at the University of California in San Francisco. So people with schizophrenia, people who are very anxious, have the lowest levels of pregnenolone. Now, we also have here in the clinic, and we recommend this for a lot of people because it works very, very well. And it is a bioidentical, it's not really a hormone. Lithium is a metal in the brain, but we've got a plant-based lithium that is very, very good in reducing panic attacks and that kind of thing. So if your hormones are good, but you still have anxiety and panic attacks, then we've got this plant-based lithium for you, and we have just seen it do wonders on people that are having these kind of issues. So don't be in a panic. You need to get over that, and we can help you with that. Pregnenolone alleviates PMS and menopause symptoms, particularly hot flashes and loss of libido. Now, this is according to Dr. Ray Salilin, and I probably misspelled or mispronounced that name, who is a medical expert on hormones. So it counters the effects of stress, and it lessens fatigue. It increases endurance, whether you are exercising or at work. So this is another thing that older people complain about, is that they are fatigued. So if you are fatigued, it may not be that you're getting older. It may just be that you're not making enough pregnenolone. So this is something that nobody talks about. Nobody lets you know about these hormones. And like I say, all of the news is on your estrogen, your testosterone, and that kind of thing. But these other hormones are precursors. That means you're not going to have the end result product if you don't have the beginning product. So it eases pain as well as rheumatic arthritis and gout, even when traditional drugs don't help. Now, we have a lot of patients that come in with rheumatoid arthritis. We have a lot of patients that come in that have gout. And we've got a lot of remedies that are out there. But this pregnenolone is a pain-reducing hormone. So if you are low on that, then you're going to have more joint pain. You're going to have more arthritic pain. You're going to just have those things that we don't want to have. So it helps with that. It lowers cholesterol. In one study, the hormone helped decrease the subject's total cholesterol from an average of 263 down to 188. Now, because cholesterol is your 28 atom molecule up here, okay, all of your other hormones are cleaved from it. I really don't want your cholesterol to be under 200, right? Every cell membrane in your body needs cholesterol. So you've got to have enough cholesterol for that. You then have to have enough cholesterol to make all these different hormones. So if your cholesterol is really, really low because you're on a statin drug, then I want you to go to my website, and it is my name, www.pollyheil-mealey.com. And on the resource, there's some links. There is a paper, and it's called Why Statins Don't Work. And it was published by a professor at MIT. And we know that those people are really, really smart. And it's a great, great resource on what cholesterol-lowering drugs actually do to you and why your joint pain gets worse and just different things when you're on these medications. So read that. You might need a medical dictionary. Just telling you, it's kind of highbrow up there, but that's what we expect from MIT. But if you go and you look at that, then you'll be able to get some information. And so if you're on statins, which are cholesterol-lowering drugs, then you're going to have trouble with your hormones. Now, let's talk about cholesterol for a moment. I know we've said this before, and you may have forgotten, right? But cholesterol, there's 3 things that make up your cholesterol. There's your bad cholesterol, so-called bad cholesterol, which is your LDL. There's your good cholesterol, your HDL, and then your triglycerides. All that together make up your big cholesterol number. Your triglycerides are what your body does with what you eat. So you can change your triglyceride number by changing what you eat. your HDL, that needs to be at a certain level, and that means your liver is functioning properly. So if your HDL is out of whack, if your HDL is too low, then we need to look at your liver and see what's going on with your liver. Most people, their LDL is what is out of whack. Now, every symptom in the body is a healing strategy. The body is a survival mechanism. My body is going to do whatever it needs to do in order to stay alive another day, right? And yours is too. And so if my body is making too much LDL, that means I have inflammatory processes in my body. Inflammatory, think of that as hot. Everything is working too hard. And cholesterol is like a fire hose. It just calms everything down. Every degenerative disease, right? Every degenerative disease is a disease born out of unchecked inflammation. So what we want to do, we don't want to look at that blood work and say, oh my gosh, my LDL is too high, I need to reach for a statin drug. That's not going to do anything about the inflammatory process. And so you're going to still have your inflammatory process, but you're not going to have the benefits of the LDL to help you mitigate that inflammatory process. So what we need to do is find out what is causing the inflammation, which is probably, I don't know, I can't see you out there, but I would like a raise of hands if anybody knows what produces inflammation. And I'm going to assume I don't see any hands, of course, because it's only a one-way camera. But germs, bacteria, viruses, heavy metals, chemical toxicity, pesticide toxicity, GMOs in the food, anything that causes an allergic reaction, phenols and all of that. All of those things are things that can cause inflammatory processes in the body. This is why when you come in, we do an EAV evaluation to find out what's going on in your body. And I have no idea what time it is because I don't have any people over here watching me and telling me I've got 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So again, somebody hold up 2 fingers if you know what time it is. So we don't necessarily want to lower the cholesterol with a statin drug. We want to go in and find out what is causing the LDL to be high, reduce those inflammatory processes. And it may be that you don't have enough pregnenolone. That just may be what it is. Let me see if there's one more little tidbit. I think I'm at the end of my time. Okay, so this is good for us older girls. Okay, oh, thank you for that encouragement, Nisi. I appreciate that. Pregnenolone is the most abundant circulating steroid hormone in humans, right? By the time we are 50 years old, pregnenolone has already declined by 50%. By the time we're 75 years old, I'm not there yet, by the time we're 75 years old, it has declined by 65%. So if we're going to be healthy forever, right, which is, I think that's God's plan for me, that I would be healthy forever. I'm not going to be degenerative. I'm not going to get old. I'm not going to get, old people diseases. I'm not going to get dementia and all that kind of stuff. I believe that God wants us to live old. I mean, just think about in the Bible, we have all these old people that lived hundreds of years. And, Moses is my hero, right? He was 120 up and down that mountain. He was not lame. He was not deaf. He was not blind. And so I believe that we can do that too if we are very proactive. So I am over 50, which means I have lost 50% of my pregnenolone. So I listened to what my doctor, well, it wasn't my doctor, it was my seminar. I went to the seminar and the doctor said every woman who's postmenopausal needs to take at least 25 milligrams of pregnenolone at night. So I do that. So let me see what else. French researchers discovered that infusing pregnenolone into the brains of rats boosted the acetylcholine by 50% and improved the rat's ability to recognize their environment. Okay, so that's something that we need to think about. Yes, men too. Men also need pregnenolone. Everybody needs pregnenolone. Pregnenolone is a hormone precursor. If you do not have pregnenolone, you're not going to have testosterone. If you lower your cholesterol, then you're not going to have enough cholesterol to go around to make testosterone, because testosterone is at the bottom of the food chain, and somebody's trying to come into the clinic and we're closed. Pregnenolone helps regulate our neurotransmitter GABA. GABA is the calming neurotransmitter, which is commonly deficient during menopause. And pregnenolone also improves mental endurance. So if you see that you're getting tired, if you see that things are just too hard for you mentally, you might want to look at this. So I think that's all the news that I have today. It's New Year's this weekend. Be safe, be smart, take your pregnenolone, and I will see you in 2018. Be blessed.